How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Ghostlore number 3. This is, I think, a really interesting book. It's about a father and a daughter who survived a car wreck, and now ghosts are approaching them, wanting their stories told. So of course we get a little bit of an anthology element, with every issue a ghost coming in and telling its own story, so that's a pretty cool way to shake things up, but also a really interesting dynamic between the father and the daughter. Obviously, the daughter had quite a bit of teenage angst before the car wreck, but now with the younger brother and the mother dying, there is quite a lot of trauma going on there, and the father being a pastor that's now having a crisis of faith, yet at the same time, he can see ghosts so that he knows something's out there, and it's a lot of interesting ways how the daughter and the father will react to each other and the situation around them differently, and it's a relationship that really could have been wooden, but does appear to have some interesting dynamic elements behind it. But in addition to a good bit of characters in this one, as well as a really fun sleep paralysis side story, we do also get more time with the book's main villain, who I think had been hinted at a little bit before, but his story kind of bookends the issue, and he really does seem big and threatening, and when you know Ghost, but you're not quite familiar with this particular brand of ghost, you don't know what he's going to be doing, what he's up to, and yeah, a whole lot of interesting stakes here. So overall, fun with the characters, fun side story, and some good time with the villain. Chapter 3 is pretty cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to more of the plot elements in this book and seeing how everything's going to pan out, and of course, what crazy side stories we get in the future. It's all pretty fun. Anyway, without further ado, if you guys want to see a little bit more of this book, I'll go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. I'll show you a little bit of the story and the art and do a little bit of analysis, but I'll avoid covering the whole thing. I'm not going to do any significant spoilers, and I'll try to cut you off before around the halfway mark. We'll see. But anyway, without further ado, to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Ghostlore number 3. And I just want to say, what a cool cover there. We get the series villain, who we saw briefly before, but really makes his appearance known in this one. And he's inside this giant screaming mouth. That's pretty cool. Love the deep, dark purple and reds. Those are fun as well. Again, the credit line on the back. And this is, of course, the 3rd issue, put out by Boom Studios, rated 13 plus for $4.99. Anyway, if we crack the book open, we get to see written by Cullen Bunn, illustrated by Leomacs, and the Night Terror section, illustrated by Vanesa R. Del Rey, who I believe is a new, unique artist to this issue, so it is good to see a bit more variety in those side stories. I think the past 2 might have been done by the same guy, so it's cool to see, you know, changing up the artist each time. Anyway, after this, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the book. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but let's take a little bit of a look at the art, a little bit of a look at the plot, a little preview, and a little bit of analysis, but I'll try to avoid going too far into it. But anyway, we open up with a fortune-telling thing, and her talking about how because she was close to death, she can see the dead. And of course, it doesn't go that easy. Crystal ball explodes, and out of the crystal ball, the ooey gooey ghost that we know so much of, and we get to see the series' new villain show up, and he starts to talk about how much good he can do with a painful death. And we also see his Converse have the pentagram on them as well. So it's a really good, you know, evil scene for the villain to show up in, and I do like the art is a little different here. I think this is still Leomacs doing this, maybe, I'm not sure. But when we jump to the scene with the main characters, I really do like using different art styles to contrast and show different themes, and we really jumped in quite at the high point there. But another emotional thing is they're going to go and try to contact their mother. The kid told his story, but doesn't the mother have a story to tell? And they're going around and trying to talk to her, and we do get a bit of an interesting thing in this back and forth between the father and the daughter talking about seeing ghosts, and her helping them pass on and getting a little bit mad at her father for having to fight one. Although whether he had to or not, I guess you could debate, but she really wasn't there for that. But also, you know, where the father said he felt ridiculous for praying, and the daughter going, no, you should have prayed when that happened, you know, and thanking God and stuff. And I think we might actually see a bit of a reversal where maybe the daughter might be getting more religious as the dad gets less religious. I really do want to see this relationship stay complicated, not 100% one or the other, and I do want to have it be more than just, you know, a one-sided thing. So I really do like how it is evolving, and we do see them share a cigarette, so maybe they are getting closer, and I hope that as this book goes on, we'll continue to see just a strange evolution of this, you know? But they are eventually contacted by a ghost. Again, the ghost in this book with that purple vine thing look really great and scary, and it is not their mother. The father tries, of course, to fight, and the daughter will eventually talk the situation down, and they'll hear their story, which will be the anthology bit. And this story is pretty fun. It touches on a subgenre that I know a lot of people like. They bought a farm, and everything seems happy, but it starts with a dream. The husband will wake up screaming, and he says there was a little guy sitting on his chest, so a sleep paralysis demon story. And the wife says that even though she was trying to be supportive, because she didn't believe him, the husband gets really mad at her. And it's like, you know, I can't buy in to your story, but at the same time, how do I be supportive for you going through something that I simply don't believe? It's an interesting little short story. It is, of course, very short. It has to fit within a regular book as well. But I think it is pretty interesting, and you don't get too many sleep paralysis stories. So overall, Ghostlore 3, pretty good. The story seems to be relatively, you know, kind of its own thing, the anthology bit. And, you know, it is a good character beat, them trying to look for the mom and talking to each other, even if it's not the biggest plot point. But then as far as the plot goes, seeing the villain make a big, terrifying move that kind of starts off the book, yeah, that really pushes things forward. And I really am curious what he's going to do, because he does seem pretty dangerous. So overall, Ghostlore 3 is still fun, and I definitely like this book. Not my favorite Cullen Bunn thing ever, but it's still a cool thing to check out, and I can recommend it. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Cullen Bunn playlist, where you can see my reviews for the first 2 issues of this series. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.